a couple of subject in my brain because it's a movie that I really enjoyed, and this is why it's such a hard movie to capitulate to recap, right? That I think I want to do it before I do the subject because the subject has something to do with this. So yeah. So without further ado, here we are with our review of the movie Mayhem, released in 2017 with my boy Glenn from frickin' Walking Dead, or Steven Yeun. I don't know if it's more Glenn or the guy from Beef. So chewy. What the fuck? It's not bad, but oh. It's not bad. Just uninteresting. So, Mayhem movie was really important for me because it's a 2017 movie about the virus, and then we have the pandemic, so it's kind of crazy. I'm gonna go in a synopsis of the story, like a little recap of the story, and then we're gonna go with what I love about the show, and about the movie. It's a perfect movie in my opinion, one of my favorites, but there's a lot of flaws, right? There's a lot of flaws, and we'll tell you why after. So the movie is about a virus which is called the red hive virus, which basically take out your inhibitor. So, for example, if you're angry, you're more angry. If you're horny, you're more horny. It's a lot harder. It feels like a zombie virus, which you're totally in charge, right? And this is why I kind of watched it because I was like, okay, well, I like Glenn from Walking Dead, and he's doing another movie about a pandemic or a virus, which is again something that akin to the Walking Dead. Like, okay, no problem, let's do it. Let's watch it. The movie itself is amazing because I'm talking about a tower that is getting infected, right? So the synopsis is the guy gets fired, right? And he doesn't want to get fired. He wants to keep his job. So he fights against being fired, but everybody in the building is infected by the virus. So the story is I'm vying for my job, and then even if I'm vying for my job and I'm infected, we have to do it. So the story itself, the movie itself, is perfection itself. I'm gonna give you guys the positive. There's so many negative, but there's also so many positive. And then we're gonna go in with why that movie was so important to me. Then we'll go with the negative, and then we'll finish. So it's so amazing because, like, the plot is this itself, but there's another girl. That other girl is getting foreclosure. So there's been a fuck up. They've been scammed into a house that's foreclosed, so that means they lose all the money, and there's a lot of people that are going to the streets. So there's a girl that goes in, and she really wants to, like, how can I put this? She really wants to help other people, right? So there's a paper, and she knows that it's a lawyer firm, and if somebody is able to do it, it's them, right? So the main character, which is Steven Yeun, goes in. It's like, we can't help you. I'm sorry, we can't help you. And it's kind of crazy because she is going to be one of the most important characters. So Steven Yeun character starts as this employee, a normal employee of the business, right? And then he becomes this a super important employee because, again, the main goal is to get further. The movie also has so many freaking moments that are super important and super nice. For example, in the beginning, his sister calls him and it's like, hey, we got, you want to come to my party? It's like, no, I won't be there. I don't have time. It's like, and you never have time. So you can see that the guy is spending his life working, and it's a big part of the movie. So along the movie, the character Steven Yeun gets infected, and because he gets infected, he has the low inhibitor, right? And he goes in to get his job back, but he kills a lot of people, he fights a lot of people, and when he reaches the top, he ends up not wanting the job, which is a big spoiler, right? So what is interesting about this is that along the way, there's only one ally he has, because everybody's working in the same company, right? But the only ally that he has is the girl, and the girl's like, you're a suit, you're one of them, you're as bad as them, and Steven Yeun is like, no, 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 I just want to be like them, dude. I just want to be like them. But she's like, no, 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 you're like them. You don't care about your next human being. You don't care about anybody but yourself. You're selfish. There's a sort of realization for Steven, and he's like, okay, well, she's right. And at the end, whenever he does a good action, is because he thinks about her, right? And it's kind of crazy because she's against the company, right? So he and at the beginning he's with the company, then he's become neutral because he kills a lot of people, right? And then he starts about getting his job back, and he's not sure. There is this very pivotal moment where, in the first, he wants to be with the company, right? The second part of the movie, he's like, okay, well, I just want to save my job, right? I want to save my job. I want to be protected. And at the end, he wants to take it down, right? But the movie itself, the beauty of the movie, and you say I'm having a problem because the beauty of the movie isn't the storyline. It's all of the in between, all of the behind. That's what's really cool. The movie itself is good. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of action. It's endearing. We love it. But it's really the perception of the artistic perception. For example, the character of Steven Yeun start painting, right? And there's these people that are in the building, and they're the reaper, they're the cleaners, and he paints them. And the coolest thing is, like, he has name for them, so they're like they're like bosses, and that's something that I really really enjoyed. What else? The fact that it's in a building, the building itself ends up being the main character because it's higher level. The more you climb, the more you get close to the final boss, which is again saving your job, right? And again, this is crazy because the goal of the character is to save his job, right? And that's pretty much it. So while he loses his job, they fucked it up. They did a mistake, and they blame him for him. He's a fall guy, right? But he didn't do anything. It's like, if I'm the fall guy, you can choose anybody else that's gonna be a fall guy except for me, right? And it's kind of super nice. It is kind of super nice because of one specific thing that we haven't even touched. But the building itself is important because in the middle it's empty. It feels like a soulless tower. It's amazing. The most important character is also his friend. His friend was another one of these worker, but guess what? He was a nice guy. He was still a nice guy, right? Steven Yeun only had him, and he was drafted into humanity because he was becoming a suit, but because his friend was such a nice guy, he was still human, right? They killed this friend. So the girl becomes this new support system, and as a support system, she does a fantastic freaking job, which is amazing. Wait, today is Monday. Why are we saying about a tournament? What the fuck? Oh, by the way, I have to change the tournament because now it's 8 o'clock. It's not 7 o'clock. But I don't have one tonight. We're good. We're good tonight. We're good. We're good most of the time, but especially tonight. So, yeah, it's insane how much work they put in, and it's a really freaking good movie. It's amazing, the visual they do. For example, again, the painting, but that's not even it. You got Steven Yeun, who was doing a video, right? And he's talking about, he's saying in the video to the boss, like, hey, this is what's going on. And you realize the speech that he's giving is not important, but it's the way he's talking. And you can see that the virus itself is amazing because they're really emotional. The movie itself is sort of a revolution of a corrupted system. You see the corrupted system, you're like, holy shit, this is kind of nice because, again, we have to bring it down, right? So we have a little revolution in the end. Now, ultimately speaking, the virus is a good thing, it's a bad thing. So the revolution could be considered a result of the virus, another result of the people. Yes, the main character changed, right? But, see, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy because you're asking yourself, what is a movie without the virus? What is a movie with the virus? The movie with the virus, you see it. The movie without the virus, you don't see it. The fighting scene, they're good. There's another moment that I didn't like. For example, they're talking about music, talking about they're fucking too, which is cool because of the virus, but it's not. It's they end up dating after that, and the fucking is the first part of the dating, which is kind of crazy. But again, in a movie like that, it's nice. It's so well made. It's so well realized. It's more one of those movies that's weird to analyze because the movie that you have to see. It's heavily influenced by the visual. For example, right? One of the better scene there is that he gets fired, or is one of his friends say, "Hey, I heard about you getting fired. They're planning to fire you." And the guy's like, "No, they're not gonna fire me." And then she realizes the person was right. Oh, it goes to the building, to the top of the building, to take up to knock it out. But instead of going up, he's going down. The scene where he freaks out, like, "Oh my god, I'm down, I'm going down, up, 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 up." And he goes to the garage and gets fucked up. It's amazing. One of the better movie, and is the importance of it. I was watching that movie a lot, along Fight Club, even Vendetta. I feel like they had a purpose, right? And now, basically, what I'm trying to say here is that the first half of the movie is great. Second half, not so much. They spent like 10 minutes talking about how a band is not good or good, and I think that's cool. But what I would have done, I would have taken the main character, would have made him draw, and you go be like, okay, well, you have a soul, you're artistic. More than this, because the music doesn't mean anything. Nigga Boom, thanks for the likes, bro. Appreciate you. How are you, my guy? How's it going? Nigga Boom, yes, if you don't follow Nigga Boom, please do. The guy's fucking awesome. Am I talking about the music? It doesn't feel like it belongs to the movie. It feels like the guy's trying to say, hey, I'm cool, I'm not one of the suits. Is this a new house? No, it's the same house. The same house. It's a different lighting because we're earlier today. So because we're early, we've got a sunrise coming in. As you can see here, I got the balcony, and the sun is there. The sun rises in the morning, rises through here, so it's really nice. It's like a different house though because we're not at night, right? It does feel like a different house, but yeah. No, I've been living in the same place for 12 years, bro. 12 years. Isn't that crazy? I never had another apartment. No, possibly we'll never have another apartment. We'll also share a new house. Live with crazy people. What can you do? It's like that the whole day. It's a specific person, and they have mental issues. So, what can you say? What can you do? When they're streaming, was it up to you? I could close the door, but that's quite cold, so I'll listen to them complain that they're old. Oh, I'll pretend that I care. I'll pretend that I'm there. But this person's woke me up more time than I give a fuck. So at the end I resent, at the end I present my case in front of you. Oh, a guy to see, oh, a guy for me. It's a tragedy. See, the movie, one of the pieces that is super important, but again, didn't even mention it because it wasn't something that was meaningful or sort of meaningful for me, was like we're talking about the gladiator, right? And they literally have a higher up or the higher up, and when they talk about fighting somebody, they give the downside and the slack sign, right? Which means like, hey, this employee is done. So you have this in the beginning of the movie, and it has no importance, but at the end of the movie, when it does happen, it's kind of badass. But again, they put so much emphasis on something that's very visual, and that only lasts for a couple minutes. So, although it's something that I love about the movie, feeling to talking about it in a review is somewhat weird, and it's sad because I really want to present I really wanted to present this, you know. So yeah, all in all, it's pretty complex. I want to see something because I don't feel like I'm uploading. Are we uploading? If not, I would like. Otherwise, I might have a full tonight. And if I uploaded, I'll become somebody noted. And if something was to happen, it would be something sadden. Oh, I know it's nothing. Oh, I know it's something. What? Wasn't I recording? One, 103. Nice. Good. So we'll do this. Oh, we'll do this. We'll do Devil May Cry. We'll do Devil May Cry and we'll do song. I want to get the real song of the AI cover. Devil May Cry song. Devil Never Cry. Is that it? I don't feel like that's it. Virtual Battle Team. I am the storm that is approaching. Astral Light. Okay. No, that's not it. Devil Trigger. Opening credit. Okay. Since Afterlife from the Netflix series Devil May Cry. Afterlife. Bury the Light. Devil May Cry. Limp Bizkit. People are see the water's blood within their lyrics. I'm not gonna find it, huh? Okay, I'm gonna try to find it here. What is it called? What is it called? Devil Never Cry. Okay. Devil Never Cry song. Such a good song. Okay. Uh-huh. Sword trick. They can unlock this if you beat the game as Virgil. This is a good song. Okay. So what is the fucking thing? What does I need now? Oh. Good. Okay, so I know what I did. Okay, Devil May Never Cry. So this is it. That's the one. Okay. RPG track. That's an RPG track. That's the name of the band. The tower. Oh, like I'm not playing 6 times the tower. And I don't know why it's not going in. Okay. Aha. Please work. No, not power off, power on. Power on. Power on. Connected, yeah. He's actually pretty good. I love this. Wow. We'll react to it after that. We'll react to it after. Because it's it. Great. We're kind of hoping for a mixtape after that. We're getting a mixtape after that, we're going to be able to play it again and again. Because what you do a playlist and you do repeat the same song. Ooh. Do, 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 do. Health, good. It's 4 minutes. That's not bad. That's not bad. Can say. There you go. So yeah, so with the movie, what I'm realizing is that getting older. You see, you never feel yourself getting older. You don't know that you're getting older, right? You just age up, and you're like, okay, well, physically speaking, I can feel older, but what it means to grow up, mentally speaking, right? And it's kind of crazy because I was thinking about that a lot today, because my whole life's about content, right? And even then, we started making content like 5 years ago. So the fact that we're saying this is weird, and that's fine, right? But at the same time, I always talk about how I feel like I changed. I feel like I'm less involved. I feel like I'm freaking out, and it's tough, dude. It's really tough. It's really, really tough. It's really tough. The says my mother. I want to play Devil May Cry tonight. I'm going to be playing Dante. I don't think we ever did it. No. See? Nice. Nice. See? Now, it's a playlist, so you can do the repeat one. Perfect. Perfect. And again, since we're watching it, we're going to speed it up at 30 times. It doesn't even happen, So yeah, so you grow up and you think, okay, well, what is aging up, mentally speaking, right? And I realize in my case, it's less giving a shit, right? So, for example, a movie like Mayhem, right? Which completely altered my brain because it was such a good movie, but also so meaningful. So when I started watching it was insane, right? Like in the days, what I used to do, I used to have a movie in the background when I was downloading stuff. So I didn't have Wi-Fi at home. We used to go to a shopping market, a shop center. I don't know what you call it. A shopping center is a good word, I believe. And with the shopping center, what we would have a lot of shop, but also Wi-Fi. So I would download song. I would stay I swear to God, I would start at 10 a.m. and I would leave at 9 p.m. I'm not even joking. I had my battery pack with me. And then I had a phone, and I had a tablet. Right? So yes, it was insane. It was insane, dude. And what I would do is I would put movie because I needed some entertainment. Right? I'm trying to hide the light a little bit. Right? So yeah, so we had a movie, and Mayhem was that. And I remember being surrounded with people, and this was such a powerful moment. It reminds me of when I was listening to Motion White, and I was in the subway station, and I felt like a biggest badass because I was listening talking about anger and how society judge. That time I'm depressed. I feel lonely. I don't have that many friends, right? So yeah, light. You see, I'll still upgrade that. I need to upgrade my Tire Talk. What else? So yeah, so when I was staying in Miami, it was just insane, and it's also the fact that you have the corporate, and it does feel like Steven Yeun character goes after corporate, goes after the corrupted system of the enterprise itself. The enterprise itself, with the different level and how tall the building is, really, really does feel like a whole society, like a city, right? And it's nice because when you see the city, you see how it works and you see how they do it. Like, holy shit, dude, this is kind of insane. This is kind of a lot, right? At the same time. And you just don't realize, you don't see it, right? Until you really watch the movie. Because again, this is a more visual aspect of it. It's a feeling. It's not specifically said, but it's a feeling. And the higher ups that are higher, you don't even understand. Like, in the movie, there's access card. You need to have one access card to meet another person that has another access card that can reach the top, right? So it's insane. Insane, dude. Insane. And to me, it's like amazing because as a kid, I was like the revolution, and as an adult, it's weird because I was talking with this with a friend about 2 weeks ago about V for Vendetta, and I was kind of not necessarily against it, but I was like, dude, this is never gonna happen. And aging up is not giving a shit; it's settling down, right? In my case, and I really miss the "Oh my father, days to my mother." I wish I could give a shit because you really see it when I start making content. I was a lot more excited. We're doing a lot more. Now I'm a bit more. Let my water. Such a good song, dude. Can't believe it. Mother. And it's completely fan made, which is insane. Water. So yeah, so you're seeing that and you realize just how precious it is, just how meaningful it is, because you had a young buck. I was full of interest, and then you're getting older and like, okay, well, this is life. I accept life for what it is. I'm too old to change something, so I just suffer. I just settle. I just conform, right? And older ink would be hated by young ink. Like, yo, you're you're a you're a pawn, dude. You don't care about anything. And the reality is, I don't. I do a little bit of here and there, but compared to what I was doing, I cared a lot more before about how people treated me, how people talked to me. And you see, the biggest thing I did in my life was making content, right? Which is a very meaningless life, but at the same time, it's not too late to make it meaningful. Not because something is meaningless that it cannot become meaningful. And I'd rather have meaning older than have meaning younger and no more meaning when I'm older. Right? That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. So it's tougher. It's really tough because how can I put this? Like, for example, if I was to retire at 65, right? This year is the cutoff. So this year is half of this. So I'm 33, right? And if you do times 2, it's 30, 50, 66. If you were last year, I still have a half of work. That still means that I can work for 30 plus years, you know? And I don't know if I ever thought about I'm going to change thing. I was going to be a revolution, right? It's talking about V for Vendetta. That's what he did. That's what he did. The Fight Club. That's also what it was. And you're getting older and like, okay, well, this, not that it doesn't matter because it always will matter, but it's not as important. It's not as meaningful because you're in a position where, not that you care less, but you're in a position where it's something that's less realizable, right? For example, right? If I was at my age, and there's no, it's never too old, right? But you see people, you're like, okay, well, I want to be a fucking athlete. I want to be an Olympic athlete. There's a lot less chance to be an Olympic athlete when you're 33 than when you're, I don't know, you know? For example, I was listening to this person and they're 20, and they started at 7 years old. And people were like, dude, this is kind of starting old, right? It's insane. It's insane. And then the principle of time was amazing because I watched a video today. So God, it seemed like I'm lying, but I'm not. So the video was like, so the girl talking about her husband, sorry, and her husband is a prison guard, and one of the inmates told her husband, like, hey, in 5 years I'm out of here. You're here for another 20 years. Who's the real prisoner here? And you just realize just how meaningful it is, you know? Like, for example, at 33 years old, you're expected to have like a 9 to 5. You're expected to have a job for years. When I was younger, I couldn't even picture this. I couldn't even envision this. I was like, no, not me. And I remember I was 20. I was working for a grocery store, IGA. And it was this girl, right, who said, hey, what are you going to do when you're older? And I didn't know what to answer. So I answered as a joke. I said, I'll be famous for not... I said, I'll be famous as a joke. And then she said, for what? She said, for not doing... And I said, answer, for not doing anything. And I was supposed to be like super funny, but in reality, it is that. I couldn't picture myself doing anything. I couldn't picture myself having a specific job, you know. And when we actually we work for an agency, and the agency was you're gonna go here for this week, this other week you're gonna go somewhere else, and even for the 8 years, I love my job, and I was doing the same thing, and I was okay with doing the same thing, but there's a lot of job that I would have not done. For example, there was these two guys, and one of them was Jay, my fucking boy, and they were doing a lot, dude. They were two, and they had to fill up the package. They had a timer, which is minutes. They had to pick up the package. Then they had to put it in the garage, and in the garage they had to put it in the truck, and the truck would go right. So they had a lot of job, right? And then they were like, "Dude, we need more people." And the boss was like, "No, no, no. It's possible to be two here. It was always possible, and it will always be possible to be two here." My job was easy, so yes, I think I was more accepting of the fact that my job was easy. So yes, doing the same thing for every day for like 7 years was awful, but it could have been much worse. So I'm happy about it. Um, and ultimately speaking, we're beasts of habits, right? So you wake up at the same time every single day. Even when you're not working, you get to sleep in a couple hours, and you feel like it's the biggest gift when you should allow your fuck alarms, bro. Fuck alarms, right? And you see, like when I was a kid, this used to bother me, to piss me off, and now that I'm older, it's just like, okay, well, if it happened, it happened, right? And that's not such a bad thing. You're acceptant of your future. Now, as a kid, because I had no ambition, I was like, okay, well, I'll do anything, right? And this is important. I'm okay with anything, with yeah, I'm okay with anything, but why am I not able to do it? Yeah, there you go. Is there a sound there? To shoot life. No. Praise to my mother. Talk to my father. I will not over. Nice. Good. Bam. It's insane. It's insane. Back then, I was like, I'll do whatever. I'll do whatever I need to do to win. It's insane. I'll do whatever I need to do to survive. And now the mentality is what? Now the mentality is, I'll take whatever I do. I'll take whatever I can. So there's this change of mentality, there's change of needs of everything, right? And it sucks because that's aging up. That is being okay with life itself. And I feel like as a young buck, as a young guy, I wanted to explore more. And it's weird because you explore more, but I was a gamer, so I was like, dude, I'm okay with staying home. It feels like I'm remorseful about my childhood, which I'm not. Everything that happened and what happened for a reason, everything that happened in your life led you here for a reason. I don't think there's a greater plan, but I do believe that if there was one, you would know what it is. And that's pretty much it, right? So, it's tough, dude. It's tough. It's tough because you put yourself in a position where, like, oh, okay, shit, I understand, but you don't understand. You don't understand just how life will work. Like, for example, when I say I understand, right? I see myself in 5 years with kids, right, or having very young kids, but at the same time, it might not happen. So what if it happened in 10 years? The plan completely changed. In 10 years, I'm 43 years old, which means I can still have kids when I'm much older. See, my parents had kids when they were 35, and because they had kids, which is me, when they were 35, they're like, okay, well, in my brain when I was younger, I was like, okay, well, even if I wait till 35, I'm still good. I'm still good because this is not what I expect, but this is what my blueprint was normal, right? You don't look at your parents and say, hey, they were fucking too old to have me. When they get older, my parents were perfect because by the age of out of the house, they were thinking about retirement and they were okay, So it's tough. It's tough. If they was a bit older, then, for example, when my father wanted to play, right? I wanted to play with him when I was young, and he was 40. He's like, dude, you have a lot of energy. It's hard, you know. You know. And my mom who is having arthritis, right? Because they're older, and you realize that this is part of life, and there's nothing really you can do, and you just have to accept and accept and accept and accept and accept. And if you're lucky, it works. It doesn't. If you're not lucky, then it doesn't work. It's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Why? I don't know. It's perfect because it's the same case for everybody else. So because you're in the same position as everybody else, and everybody else is okay with it, you're okay with it. You know, it's for example, you have rations, right? Or you go to work, right? And there's a cafeteria that gives you food, and they give you a portion of food, right? And you give the portion of food, and they're like, "Hey, this is your meal for today," right? And there's 20 people that goes in, right? And then the person that's a bit of loudmouth, right? A bit of a fool, not a fool, but a bit of a, yeah, he's a bit of a optimistic fool. Let's call him like that, right? And he asked for a bigger portion. And then the cafeteria lady says, "Yeah, no problem." Then everyone that passed in front of him said, "Hey, I should have asked for more." You know? But everybody was okay with it. All it needs is one person to say, "I'm not okay with it." And I used to be that guy. I used to want to be that guy. And now I feel like I'm becoming one of the guys that's okay with the food that they receive. It's aging, you know? And you're noticing it and you're realizing it and you're like, okay, well, am I okay with this? And then you're asking yourself the question, if I'm not okay with it, what can I do? And the answer is nothing. The answer is nothing. You're just in a position where you're like, okay, well, I guess that's life. Huh? Mm-hmm. That's beautiful, bro. That is beautiful. It's really beautiful. Because there's so much of it, right? It's nuts. Have the future. Because if you're about to change it, even right now, you know, I make enough at work? No, I don't make enough at all. I don't have a lot of cash, right? But I'm okay because I don't need a lot of cash. Now, if I had more cash, would I need more? Mentality of I make more at work, so I spend more, which is normal. But I spend more, so I need more. And I used to think that this was how they got you. It's how to trap you. And by living in poverty and by enabling myself to buy some things, I'm like, fuck it. You know, it doesn't matter. But then, what did it really change? It changed nothing for anybody. I pride myself. I didn't allow myself to have the best food. I didn't allow myself to buy this new game. I didn't allow myself to buy this watch or whatever, you know? Because I thought that's how they go again get me. So who's suffering from that? Who is the victim in there? You. And who is the culprit in there? Yourself, you know? So you put yourself through hell for what? And as an adult, you understand that there's less purpose in your tongue. Right? And then, but when you're younger, you think that there's a person everywhere. Right? When I started making content, I was like, there's content everywhere. And I was hungry. And now I'm okay with doing whatever I want. If it's one thing, it's one thing. If it's more than one thing, it's more than one thing. You know? My water, taste of my water. Such a good song. Such a good song, then. Then there's the rolling. To stay the sun. And my shelter to the thunder. The my father, the my water, die. You know? You're just hungry and hungry and hungry and hungry. And then you stop being hungry. And now I'm asking myself the question, am I not hungry because I don't feel the need to be hungry? Am I not hungry because I've ate enough? Am I not hungry because my plate is full? I don't know. 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 But it's just such a profound, thoughtful process. Where's my limit? Where do I draw the line? Before it was 0. Draw my line at 0. Fuck you. Now it's 5 or 6 out of 10. Because, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. What's the mentality doing? And we're going into possibly the wrong way, possibly the good way because that's what everybody else does. Now that's a question. You may agree that being conforming to everybody else train of thought or everybody else process of what's normal, what's not normal, is a failure, and you would be absolutely right. But then you also have to agree that if everybody agrees in the same classroom, then possibly because it's true, right? But then it doesn't mean that it's true, right? If you're taught, there's the specific school, and I'm not gonna say where, but there's a certain leader that found out that if you had one drop of water to another drop of water, it's one. So they're teaching people 1 plus 1 is 1. If the whole class thinks that 1 plus 1 is 1, then we're fucked. You know? With the advent of AI, you think that you cannot do anything else. You're not going to be able to stop. Right? Some people are saying that this song is AI. I don't even know. For me, it's amazing. But it could be AI, you know? I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm not going to be able to stop it. I'm either fighting and being left behind, or I'm either fighting, left behind, or I gave up and I move forward with everybody else. When I was younger, I wanted to fight. When I'm older, I don't know if I want to fight. But at the same time, I don't want to enter a train leading me nowhere. So I'm stuck on the I don't know what you call it, the train station, the alley where you take the train. I'm stuck there, and I'm like, do I get in? Do I not get in? And that's the worst thing. Gotta charge the phone. Because indecision is the death of. In the Good Wire, I'm father. By not knowing what to do, by doing nothing, I'm not missing one opportunity. I'm missing 2 opportunities. No, I live by water, live by the water. Why aren't you charging? It's kinda sad. I don't even know. I don't even know if it's the truth. Because everybody has the truth. Everybody has their own perception. Everybody feels that they're right. Everybody feels like they discover something, they understand something, but nobody understands because they understand what they want you to understand, but then maybe what they want you to understand is the reality. You know? I used to want to fight, but why did I want to fight? Because I was not comfortable with my skin. But whose problem was it? Was it other people's problem? No. See, you let people judge you and affect you, and like, okay, well, you know, that kind of sucks. But then you allow people to judge you. You allow people for it to affect you. So you're making 2 mistakes. You're making the mistake of allowing people to judge you, and you're making the mistake of letting it affect you, right? But then at the same time, you're gonna fight with everybody that's judging you. You'll be fighting with every time that you feel like it affects you, or you're gonna not allow yourself to feel an emotion because I'm strong, you know. So you're stuck again. What am I doing? What am I supposed to do? You know? And the answer is I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I have no clue. And the reality is I'll probably never know. Am I okay with that? I don't know. I don't know if I'm okay with that. The whole 5 years of making content was a road to getting better, to becoming the person I am today. Right? But what did we seriously accomplish? What will I ever accomplish? I'm okay with not accomplishing anything. This is the crazy part. I'm okay with not accomplishing anything, but I'm not okay with wasting my time. There's so much thing that you can realize. There's so much thing that you can do. There's so much thing that goes through your brain. You're like, holy shit, dude. I don't know what I can do for that. I don't know. Tomorrow. Do, do, do. And it's insane. It's insane. It's insane because I don't know how I feel about it. It's insane because no matter what I do, I'm gonna be a I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough, dude. It's tough. Watching the movie Mayhem was the realization of that. Was the realization of how can I put this? It's so complex. Let's see. I can see. I can see. To my mother, praise to my father. They said to my other, I'm no another. Praise to the no such mercy. There's the sullen. There's the sullen. There's the matter down. Praise to sullen. It's tough, dude. It's tough. So many things in my head, right? So many things. Praise to my father, the stable water. Even right now, we're playing Devil May Cry. It's supposed to be a game about like saving the world. See, it's so annoying. I feel like I'm settling down. I feel like I'm accepting everybody's reality or any reality as a reality that is mine. But that's not the case. That is not supposed to be the case. That never was supposed to be the case. And yeah, actually sucks. It actually sucks, dude. It actually really sucks. But I'm gonna say that I'm okay with it. Why am I okay with it? I'm okay with it because um, I think that you believe in being powerless. You're in a position where you don't really have a choice, dude. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what you think because reality doesn't change anything, right? Does to my mother. Like for example, we had a guy scream. That guy was screaming, right? I used to worry about him. My neighbor, okay, this neighbor right here. He had a brain tumor, and he was afraid that he was gonna get operated. We were gonna kill him. So he didn't get it operated, and then he was in pain, and he was suffering, and he was suffering, and he was suffering, and he was suffering, and there was no help for him because he was like, okay, well, guess what? There was no help for him. Okay. You know, and you feel like that kind of sucks. Saga. Not to die. Not to die. Nice. Nice. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a secret. Look at this. Look at this. This is when you do no promotion. You know. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna be transforming it completely. And the best thing is I'm gonna show you how. Take you out like an account where there's 0 view on every single video, right? I'm gonna show you how to change it. But then again, to what point? Like for example, right? We were watching Mayhem, and you realize that you're not the kind of guy that believes in a revolution anymore. You don't really believe in it anymore, right? And then you watch a movie like Spree yesterday, and the movie Spree yesterday was about social media and likes and follows and becoming a social media star, and you realize what's the point of that, right? And you realize the two movies aren't that different one from the other, right? And then you can argue what is the reality and what is not the reality, right? It's all up here, and because it's all up here, you don't have a choice, just to follow and follow and follow and follow. See, the reality is it's also the way you're thinking, right? So, for example, I have a problem with the term falling in line. I think it's a term that's disgusting. Right now, what we're doing is we're uploading to TikTok. We're uploading to TikTok because I have a lot of videos and I don't want to have to deal with the same shit that yesterday. The Wi-Fi, because yesterday was a fucking mess. G, no side and baking. There's the Solon. There's the Solon. There's to me. The man found. Raise the. See, it's 20 seconds, not even. So super easy. Super fucking easy. I'm gonna do this the whole night. I'm gonna do this for like 4 hours. Because at 11 they want to taste the frozen sushis. And I'm gonna check that out. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. What a big speech to say nothing. But that's aging up. That's aging. I used to resent my parents a lot. Because they're like, you're just taking shit, you don't say nothing. And then you realize where they're from. Where you're coming from. Just falling. Just falling. To the solo. Just searching. And falling. Nice, it works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a tower talk. I'm going to open the light. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we do tower talk. Then we're going to be watching Donnie Darko. And I'm going to be editing, working on it, on everything, which is going to be good. And that's pretty much going to be it, bro. Oh, my father pressed the water. Tonight. All of us cry. You know what I would do also? I'm gonna try to put it at like 2.2 times the speed. Because it's a 3 hours movie, right? I'm not good at math, but 3 hours is what? It's 180. 2.2 speed from 180 is about 80 something. Yeah. 35 to 85 minutes. And we can watch the whole thing. We got some clips to do, but not a lot. The Bloody Palace. Tonight again, Bloody Palace. Senses. You to death and Sanger. You know to the thunder. Not to